Features.
Hello and welcome to Boxing Features, the review show, the weekly series where I take a look at all of the biggest fights that happened around the world over the past weekend. Before I start, make sure you hit that subscribe button for plenty more boxing content just like this. Now, without further ado, let's get to the fights.
Boxing Features.
First of all, we're going to talk about Ed Harrison versus Isaac Lowe on the MTK show in Bolton, and I was fairly impressed by Isaac Lowe, I must admit. He showed what he's about in the 6 rounds. He made it difficult for himself at some points, but he got the job done, got rid of a bit of ring rust, and hopefully get into a big fight later on in the year. I know he's calling out Jordan Gill, which I think would be an amazing fight and a 50-50 fight for my money. But then we went to Gary Cully versus Victor KOTOCHIGOV. That was the co-feature, and Gary Cully, brutal one-punch knockout in the second round, wasn't it? KOTOCHIGOV didn't get up. He was all over the place, wasn't he? But that was a beautiful, beautiful one-punch knockout. Go and see that if you haven't already. And then the main event was a really, really, really solid fight between Lewis Crocker and Dennis ILBAY. And it showed Lewis Crocker's attributes brilliantly. And Dennis ILBAY, wow, he was a man machine, wasn't he? He took so much punishment, but he kept on coming, made things really, really difficult for Lewis Crocker. And it was a fantastic test, a brilliant, brilliant matchmaking. Well done, MTK. And go and watch that fight on IFL TV in the UK. So just type in on YouTube and you can watch that fight. Lewis Crocker, in the end, got the unanimous decision. It was great performance from Lewis Crocker, but Dennis ILBAY brought a tremendous competition and fantastic learning fight for Crocker. 2 fights in Australia across 2 different bills now. I just wanted to quickly talk about Ebony Bridges. She got a win, run out against Carol Earl, and now she's replacing Rachel Ball after COVID to fight Shannon Courtenay for the WBA title in England on the undercard of Conor Benn, I believe. And we also had Michael Zerafa. Michael Zerafa got a really good first round TKO versus Anthony Mundine. Good win for both of these guys. Let's move on. We know where Ebony Bridges is going now. Let's see where Michael Zerafa goes. Moving over to the US now, Showtime, and it was David Benavidez versus Ronald Ellis for WBC Super Middleweight Title Eliminator. And I was really, really, really impressed with David Benavidez, as I am most of the time when he fights, really, because he overcome a early onslaught of pressure from Ellis. Ellis was really, really coming to win. Good contender, Ellis, and he was trying to crack through the Benavidez defense, coming forward for the first probably 2-3 rounds, and then Benavidez started really getting into his rhythm, countering, showing what he's all about. Fantastic shot selection, fantastic power, accuracy, brilliant, hand speed, brilliant, body shots, second to none. Really, really impressed with David Benavidez. It was a slow and brutal beatdown in the end. Props to Ellis for lasting as long as he did, but in the end, David Benavidez got the round 11 TKO. And now, where does he go? He wants Canelo. As I said in the preview show, I think it'll be a couple of fights at least before Canelo will be looking at David Benavidez, because Canelo wants to become undisputed in the super middleweight division. But I believe I don't know whether he's straight away mandatory for Canelo's WBC super middleweight title, because obviously the mandatory for the WBC just went with Avni Yildirim. So I don't know. I think Benavidez definitely will need a fight, and I want to see him against a good opponent. Possibly that rematch with Anthony Dirrell, but Anthony Dirrell got a draw last time out, didn't he, a few weeks ago? I don't know, but I will always be watching David Benavidez, because I just think he's a tremendous fighter, and so young. And for the next 4 to 5 years, I think he will definitely, maybe even more than 4 to 5 years, he will definitely be there or thereabouts in the super middleweight division. Maybe even in the light heavy, because we know he struggled to make weight. The last time made it this time, Let's see light heavyweight as well. Come on, he's just a fantastic talent. Now I'm going to take you through the Matchroom show on Saturday in Texas. What a show. I'm making a habit of saying this now, and I don't want to come across as Matchroom, but the shows they've put on this year have been absolutely fantastic, and I know they'll be carrying on, because next week we've got Lawrence CULLY, then the week after that we've got Dillian White. So, but this was just fantastic. A brilliant show. We knew it was going to be a brilliant show. Eddie Hearn said it was one of his best shows he's ever put together, and it come across that in the fights. Fantastic. So, we started off with Raymond Ford versus Aaron Perez, and Raymond Ford was the heavy favourite, but I said in the preview video that we don't know much about Aaron Perez, because he had an undefeated record, but he hadn't fought anyone of note, so it was a mystery, really. We didn't know how he was going to cope, and likewise for Raymond Ford, but we know how much of a talent Raymond Ford is. He's been looking absolutely phenomenal on the zone for the past 18 months, 2 years, but he didn't look the best for the whole fight here, did he? It was a draw. Raymond Ford, Aaron Perez, it was a draw, and the commentators on the zone said Raymond Ford deserved to win it by 2-3 rounds. I disagree. I'm going to say now, I disagree. I had it a draw. But if there had to be a winner, I could have gave 2 of the close rounds to Perez, and it would have meant Perez would have taken the fight, but I just went for Raymond Ford because a lot of the rounds were close. There was a lot of clean work coming from Raymond Ford, especially after the first couple of rounds when Raymond Ford was finding his flow, but Perez just did not stop coming. He was the pure aggressor. Whether he was 100% clean with that aggression all the time, I don't know. Some of the rounds he was, some of the rounds he wasn't. Some of the rounds Raymond Ford looked really slick and really nice. Beautiful counters, beautiful body shots when he used the body shots. But yeah, I have no problem with a draw whatsoever, and I think that's really fair. And Raymond Ford said he maybe even like a rematch. I don't know if Eddie Hearn agrees and his whole management team agrees that that would be the right step forward. I'm all for it. It was a really entertaining fight to kick off a really entertaining show. Next, we had Austin Ammo Williams versus Dennis Duglin. And in the preview show, I said this is a huge step up for Ammo. We don't know how he's going to cope. We don't know how much Dennis Duglin had left in the tank, but we know that he's been in with the very best. Not always winning, we know, but still a huge step up for Ammo Williams. And he coped with it phenomenally. Amazing. I would have been so impressed by Ammo. I think he could be my favourite prospect now. It's a big statement, but I've been so impressed with him, and that performance was fantastic. And some of the, I can't remember what commentator it was on the zone, said he wouldn't have been happy with that performance. If I was Ammo Williams, yeah, there's room to improve, but against that level opponent in Dennis Duglin, in your first big step up, I think he was absolutely brilliant. Really class. His shot selection, the way he defended, his defence, he was like learning, and throughout the fight he was trying new things as he became more comfortable and confident, which I love, and that shows he's like a sponge at the minute, taking everything in, and that hopefully will result in his final product when he gets to his prime being something absolutely brilliant if he carries on progressing at the level he is now, because looks like he's got a bit of power. He was trying to finish the job there, but I think just the experience of Dennis Duglin, he knows how to come in, hold, and everything like that. But Dennis Duglin was hurt a lot. We saw that. I can't remember what we ran it in. I think it might have been in the fourth where his gum shield come out. That was a heavy shot. Those looping right hands. I'm just so impressed with Ammo Williams. Go and check that fight out, because anyone watching it will realise what a tremendous talent Matchroom has on their hands there, and well, the world of boxing has, because I just love Ammo Williams. I can't sing his praises highly enough, and he's now calling out Anthony Fowler. He has been wanting Anthony Fowler for a while, I don't know how that's going to work because he's a middleweight and Anthony Fowler's a light middle. I don't know, maybe a catch weight, whether Ammo Williams, I think he may have thought, I don't know. But it's a fight I really, really want to see. Stick that in the Echo Arena at Liverpool when the fans are allowed back. The build-up, everything would be brilliant about that fight. And, again, 50-50 fight. I just love him. I love it. And I love that Austin Ammo Williams is calling out someone like Anthony Fowler. You don't see it much, but when you do see it, just please, Eddie Hearn, make this happen, because that would be a fantastic fight. Then it was Hirota Kaiguchi versus Axel Aaron Vega, and I feel really sorry for both guys here. It started off a really, really close, competitive, nip and tuck, inside fight. Brilliant entertainment for the casuals. Really, really just easy watching boxing. Something we all love. Something we all love. And Axel Aaron Vega was posing serious threat, making it really hard for Kaiguchi. And it was turning into a really, really good fight. But then in round 5, Axel Aaron Vega come round to the temple of Kaiguchi with like a right hook. And as soon as he landed that shot, he backed away in so much pain. He'd busted his hand and he was in no position to carry on. He knew straight away. He was absolutely gutted, but the pain must have been absolutely awful for him to stop like that. It was visibly terrible for him. And then Kaiguchi just come on, landed one clean shot. Ref had to stop it. He turned his back anyway, but just Kaiguchi had to finish it. Yeah. But really, really gutting, as I say, for both men, because Kaiguchi kind of lost his opportunity to look really good to the American audience. It was his American debut, and that was Axel Aaron Vega's opportunity gone. Hopefully he gets another opportunity, because he showed what he's about. But that is boxing, and that is the sad thing about boxing injuries, and it's the sad thing about any sport, that sometimes these things happen with injuries, but it's just a shame, because the way the fight was panning out, it looked like it could be an epic, and it was just cut short. But in the end, TKO round 5, Hirota Kaiguchi retains his title. Very quickly, the float on this bill was Sissoko. He got a knockout. That was his matchroom debut under Anthony Joshua management. Looked really good. Want to see him against a better level opponent now. Move on. He's 29 years of age. Look forward to seeing what's next for him. Then, co-feature time. Really, really enjoyed it. It was Jessica McCaskill versus Cecilia Braekhus for all of the belts. The big rematch. One of 2 rematches. And it delivered again. The fight delivered again. Jessica McCaskill come out really strong. She's, I don't know, when I watch her, I don't know, because she looks so rugged, but so strong. She was throwing punches from all sorts of angles, and Cecilia Braekhus was on the back foot. Mid to late rounds, Cecilia Braekhus was landing some really nice, clean punches. I don't know whether it was enough to take the rounds. I think some rounds she definitely took. Cecilia Braekhus had a point deducted in the mid-rounds, I believe. I think it was the mid-rounds. Jessica McCaskill carry on coming forward, but if you weren't judging it round by round, it looked like a really, really close fight, as did the last one. But I could see the judges were edging nearly every round, in one case every round, to Jessica McCaskill, which is sad. I would definitely give Cecilia Braekhus some of the rounds. But, yeah, Jessica McCaskill won, in my opinion, but it was like a clean sweep for Jessica McCaskill, winning nearly every round on every judge's scorecard, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I definitely think Jessica McCaskill won it by a fair few rounds. But again, it was just a fantastic fight. I think Cecilia Braekhus probably retires now. She's 39 years of age. She was the first lady of female boxing. She was so good for the sport. She still is good for the sport. If she chooses not to retire, I'm all for that, because she showed that she certainly got something left. But Jessica McCaskill, really, really good performance. Showed that she could take that performance against Braekhus in the first fight and use that as a launch pad, and she probably slightly better, I would say. Showed her consistency, definitely, but if not, better. Where does she go now? Everyone's talking about it. The Katie Taylor fight, Undisputed versus Undisputed. I would absolutely love it. It's a rematch. They fought when they was very early on in their professional careers. Who knows what will happen? Personally, because of Katie Taylor's just boxing IQ and slickness and her aggression, I think she's slightly more aggressive than Celia Breakhouse. I think she can beat Jessica McCaskill again, but as I say, the unorthodox style of McCaskill with the rugged nature, but just like really strong, keep coming forward, lovely over the top right hands. It's going to be a good fight. Hopefully Eddie Hearn makes it happen, but I'll talk about it closer to the time. But for now, I still think Katie Taylor has the better of Jessica McCaskill. Main event time now. Juan Francisco Estrada, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Wow. Wow. What a fight. What a fight. I said in the preview show it could be fight of the year. When it is all said and done, it could very well be fight of the year because it was just brilliant. I can't describe how much I enjoyed this fight. You couldn't write it for me, personally. Those two styles I just love, and I think they gelled perfectly. Especially just, I love watching Francisco Estrada. Always have done. I love Chocolatito as well, but I just love Estrada's style. Like, the slight aggression, but like the slight boxing, like the mix, like... There's accuracy as well. The accuracy of Estrada, and he showed it. But Chocolatito showed that pure aggression, that come forward style that we all love him for. The tuck up, get in there, and it made for a really good fight. Better than the first fight. So close. So close. There's been a lot of controversy over the one scorecard, which was 117-111 to Estrada. Wrong, first of all, I want to say wrong, and then the WBA have suspended that judge, I think I heard on Sky Sports earlier on, so I don't know about that, but because a lot of the rounds were close, and then if you give them all to Estrada, then you could potentially have a 117-111 outcome, but it was just that so close fight, and then, like, it went through, like, spells, in my opinion, so I think, like, the first two rounds Estrada won, DAZN disagreed with me on that one, actually, by the way, well, DAZN gave it to Chocolatito. And I'll go through the scorecards now. So, it was a split decision. First judge gave it 113-115 Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Then the next judge, which I already said about, was the 117-111 to Estrada. And then the deciding scorecard was 115-113 Estrada, which is what I had it. I had it 115-113 Estrada when I was scoring the fight. But I watched the fight live, and then I watched it again and scored it, because just seeing with all these scorecards, because DAZN gave it 115-113 to Chocolatito, and they just gel. I don't really know what to say apart from these styles just gel, and they are two top high echelon fighters. Juan Francisco Estrada has solidified his pound for pound top 10 status for me with that performance. But Chocolatito isn't that far behind him, and everyone wants that trilogy fight now. I think it's a fight that needs to be made. Rungvisai is in the mix. Obviously, he performed. He got the knockout earlier on this weekend as well. He had a really good outing, tune-up fight, but in the mandatory position now for Estrada, we could see... So Estrada could go one of two ways, really. The mandatory for Rungvisai, or could he lose a belt and go with Gonzalez? But both of these are trilogy fights, where he's 1-1. So, boxing fans win here, surely. But surely, we're getting a trilogy, pretty much. We are getting a trilogy at some point. Now, whether it's going to be Rungvisai or Chocolatito, personally, I'd rather that Chocolatito, because just that way that fight progressed at the weekend, there's clearly unfinished business, and just like the fight they had 8 years ago, it carried on where it left off, but improved. Like, it was round 13 of the second fight. It weren't round 1 of another fight. It was round 13. I definitely think this could just go for the trilogy. So it will literally be 36 rounds of just fantastic boxing. And I cannot wait to see what happens. Close fight. Fight of the year, potentially. At the minute, yeah. At the minute, I'm saying it's fight of the year so far. We're only 3 months into the year. Can I see something coming along and beating it? Potentially, yeah. But I was just in awe. I was in awe of that fight of the weekend. I was just so pleased with the whole card. Well done, DAZN. It's consistent DAZN at the minute. Just for me, they're the top dogs because it's the way they build the fighters, and I think Eddie Hearn plays a big part in that. They've got big names now, and the fact that they've launched in the UK for a UK fight fan is so big because now I'm seeing the way it works. Questions over the commentary. I've still got to say it. I know they come under a lot of fire for the Luke Campbell Garcia card. I wasn't. It's not as bad as that night. I'll say that, and I didn't give him as much stick as a lot of people were, but I certainly think they do need to take a look at that commentary team, which is a shame. But by far, it's good. But there's just certain things you're like, really? And I might be wrong. What do I know? But it's an area for them to improve on. And Eddie Hearn has said they're looking to improve. They want feedback. And if that is a very small criticism in what is a fantastic product at the minute. And that fight on Saturday night between Estrada and Chocolatito showcased what DAZN is all about. Putting on fantastic fight where the fans win.
Boxing features.
Wow, and that's it. That was this weekend's boxing around the world, and it was a pretty good one, wasn't it? It was really good, really entertaining. Make sure you check out some of these fights I've spoken about. I'm sure you can catch them all on YouTube or whatever now. But make sure you like, share, subscribe. Boxing features for plenty more content just like this. And as ever, thanks for watching.
Boxing features.